وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ.
In today's lesson from the du'as of the Quran, we learn something very beautiful on seeking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for any self-wronging that we may have done. And one of the most beautiful examples that we learn from the Quran is the example of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam and Hawa alayhi salatu wasalam. How they lived a very blissful life in Jannatul Firdaus. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literally gave them everything in Jannah. While living in that beautiful state, they had no worldly affairs to deal with, no worries of the dunya. Everything was so fascinating, everything was just so immaculate and so beautiful for them in Jannah. All of a sudden, we all know, Shaitan comes to them and he whispers to them so many things, and the very story of the forbidden tree, and how Adam alayhi salatu wasalam made the mistake at that very moment of falling in the trap of Shaitan. But the discussion today is not about what happened in that trap, but rather it is the discussion of the dua that Adam alayhi salatu wasalam made in that moment of making that mistake. And similarly, we may find ourselves in this life making mistakes that we are very regretful for. We make mistakes and later on we feel that we should not have done that. And we feel to ourselves that what can I do to reflect upon my mistake, and what can I do to become a better person? And the dua that we learn from the Quran in today's lesson is the dua of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Al-A'raf in verse number 23, Allah says, Rabbana zalamna anfusana, that, O Allah, we have wronged ourselves. Wa illam taghfir lana, if you do not forgive us, wa tarhamna, and you do not have mercy upon us, lanakunanna min al-khasirin, surely we will be amongst the losers. This was the dua of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam in that very moment when he was taken out in the state of Jannah and came into this world. So imagine coming from that state into the worldly life. How difficult must it have been for Adam alayhi salatu wasalam in that very moment. So imagine, my brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter what we've done in this world, everything that we will do, it will be something that we sometimes will have regret over. And when we have those types of regrets, and we feel that we need to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the best form of seeking forgiveness from Allah will be through this dua of the Quran.
رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَّمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ.